Well, obviously, I think the penalties, is the first thing I look at. Coming off the field, you look at it. We had 106 yards in penalties, and they had 40. So you lose the penalty battle by 66 yards. And I think we had some critical ones. Obviously, we got a block punt or ball return to the 4. Thought they scored, ball return to the 4. We get a celebration penalty, puts us on the 19. And this type of weather, that yardage was huge, to get you closer. We had a shovel pass, looks like a huge gain. We're back in the red zone. We get a holding penalty, that drive at the end of the first half for them. They get a PI penalty in the end zone, and that's a huge, gets the ball down, first and goal from the 2. So I think, the first thing you look at is, I think the penalty things really hurt us today in today's game. So.
What led the factor that decided not to let Colin try to come in the fourth so we could come out?
I thought we needed a spark on offense and needed to get something going. So, give Blaine a shot at trying to. Knew we were going to be throwing it every down, so give Blaine a shot. That was it. Nothing more. That's a good question. I think they did a good job. You look at Matty threw for 180, so and threw some deep balls and completed some deep balls, and he seemed like he had pretty good command of it, but we didn't seem like we handled the weather very well from a passing game standpoint.
When the wind's not blowing like that, would you expect even with the snow falling to be able to?
Yeah, I know the ball was slick, and it was really just the ball itself. It had nothing to do with the wind. The wind wasn't really the wind wasn't blowing at all down there. So the ball was slick, and but again, it was the same for both teams. That's not an excuse. So they played in the same conditions that we played in. So.
Chip, you only had 5 attempts. I realize there's some sacks in there, obviously, but were you maybe too cautious as far as not letting?
No, I was just watching how the ball was coming off his hands and what our chances were of completing it. So, maybe I was too cautious, but we didn't look like we were doing much in the passing game. We had some called. We didn't either. Got to get it out a little quicker. We got a rush coming. It's they got 5 guys in the line of scrimmage trying to stop the run game, so they're going to rush 5. But there were more called than 5. I know that.
So did you just get the sense that weather kind of impaired Colin today? It seemed like he came in pretty hot. Any other issues that he was dealing with?
No, that was the only issue. I think today was the weather. There's no other physical or mental issues. So.
You mentioned Matt Barkley. What have you seen out of his developments?
Today's the first time I saw him, so I thought he played really well. Thought he did a nice job of managing with an adverse day. Thought he played with poise today and threw some real catchable balls. Yeah, and that was the big thing. I thought our guys, obviously it turned into a field possession, really when it was coming down there a little bit, especially in the first half. We ended up with those 2 field goals. And it was a field possession game, and really they weren't attempting any passes either until the 2-minute drive, and then in the 2-minute drive, I think all of a sudden they realized Matt could handle it, and did a really nice job, getting the ball, pushing the ball down the field. So, we were almost thinking about hoping we were going to get the ball back there. If we get a stop on 3rd down, we stopped them on 1st and 2nd down. We get that stop on 3rd down, then it's a little bit different story coming in at halftime with a lead, as opposed to being down 1. So. Again, I thought we did a good job in the run game, but we didn't do a good job in the pass defense game, especially in the inclement weather.
Did you guys upstairs get a look at Dante on the sideline to see if he was in bounds?
They said he was out of bounds, and if he's called out of bounds, there's nothing they can do for it anyways. It's a non-reviewable. They don't say he wasn't out and they go back in. So that's what our guys upstairs said, because he declared him out. You're not allowed to challenge that one, from my understanding. At least that's what I was told. So.
Obviously practice and likely that could be much different than this. Do you think that had any bearing on how this game turned out?
No, we're not going to make any excuses. It wasn't like we could go practice in Saskatchewan this week, so it is what it is. Both teams played in the same weather, so I don't look at that as a excuse, in terms of we had the same weather that they had, so both teams had to deal with it, and they dealt with it better, especially in the pass game. Again, I got to look at the film to see what went on today. There's a lot of slipping and sliding, and I don't know where guys were feet-wise and things like that, but on some of those deep balls, we certainly weren't close enough to make plays.
Do you expect to go back to Colin next week?
We haven't had any discussions about anything, so it was just my decision to make a move to see if we could get a spark, to see where we were. At that point in time in the game, we're down a couple scores, and obviously we got to throw it a ton, so I just said maybe we'd see if we can get a spark for our team, but I didn't No, there was no permanent decisions or anything like that.
You guys punted from the 31
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
Was that Phil telling you that?
Yeah, Phil knew exactly where he could go from, so that would have been a 31, 49-yard field goal. You know, that was definitely out of his range. So, and it paid off for us. We pinned him down there, and I think we got the block punt on the next one, and the field position change. We knew it was going to be a field position game, and then Phil felt comfortable where we had the ball in the next one that he could hit it. So I just kind of looked to him when I'm making those decisions, and whether he feels comfortable being able to kick it or not kick it. So.
Should you guys know not to do snow angels and go down?
Yeah, they know that. I mean, they understand the rules of the game. That's just, you know, Dante's allowed to. I think he's allowed to do whatever he is. I mean, he's celebrating, but I don't think he can go to the ground. You know, so it's just got to be a single-person celebration. You can't use any props. You know, we go over all those things. So, you know, just not a disciplined play by us on our side of the ball, and we'll reemphasize what we have to do in terms of being able to, you know, be a little bit of discipline. We have to play with poise and not let, you know, play with emotion, not let emotion play with us. I love when our guys have emotion, but not where it jeopardizes what we have, and where it really jeopardizes instead of the ball on the 4 in that situation, because they thought we scored, but instead of the ball on the 4, the reality was the ball's on the 19. So, you know, I know our coordinators do a really good job of showing things that happen around the league, so we learn from other people, and I'm sure we'll really emphasize that again this week. So.
2 more, please.
Just a little clarification. So the focus on the run game was more on how Kaepernick was playing as opposed to what you're seeing from the defense or combination?
It was snowing pretty bad, so it wasn't nothing to do with any individual player. It was just the weather situation didn't dictate that we were going to be able to throw the ball a lot today. So.